I'm not sure how else to say this, but this blade is wrong. I think CIG may have done a little oopsie in the recent PTU update, because as you can see here, despite not fitting into the chassis, I was able to remove the bespoke whip and warlord plasma cannons from the blade and fit salvaged auto repeater size 2 and 3 onto them. Which means that this, at least for me, the first time that I see the blade being able to have a free choice of weapons, which is really interesting. I like free choices of weapons. But is that intended? The way the weapons glitch into the hull of the blade makes me think it's not. So maybe this was a bug, but it's on the current PTU, and I just figured this out by accident. I wanted to check the Banu Defender movement boost from yesterday's video where I've informed you about it. If you don't know all the changes, watch the video from yesterday. It gets you up to speed. Also, subscribe to the channel if you like to stay up to date on everything Star Citizen. But yeah, then I also went into the menu for the blade and I was like, wait, what? I'm able to remove the Warlord cannon and the whip, and I can put other weapons in? And I stumbled over this by accident, and now I verified and I checked on DPS Calc, and yeah, actually DPS Calc Aircool also shows a free choice of weapons now on the blade when you update to the PTU. That is very interesting. I also checked, by the way, the glaive. Still everything bespoke can't be changed, but for the blade, somehow I was able to slap the Ardor salvaged repeaters on there. So we're gonna have some battle with the blade, fighting with these regular Ardor repeaters now. That's something we're gonna do. We're also gonna have a look at the new 60-something degrees per second yaw speed of the Banu Defender, which we have heard about yesterday. That's the point of this video, actually. And also the fact that the blade received, like I said yesterday, the ammo load multiplier of 2.1. Right? So it has more than twice the ammo capacity than it usually had before. That's what I originally wanted to test when I ran into this new choice. But here's the interesting thing. While we're testing or I'm showing you the new mobility of the Banu Defender, you know what this also means? The fact that I was able to remove the whip and warlord cannon in the vehicle loadout manager, this also means that I have these weapons now safely stored in my station hangar, which normally you could not do. You could never remove these weapons from the blade because they were bespoke, right? So now I have them freely sitting there, and it makes me think, what if I just dupe them real quick for the next video, and we slap 4 times whip and 4 times warlord, size 2, size 3, onto the F8C Lightning. And then we're just gonna have some battle with the technically bespoke blade weapons in double the amount on the F8C. That sounds like a nice video for tomorrow, don't you think? So stay tuned. That video is coming right up tomorrow in a few hours. Let me just first show you here the mobility of the Banu Defender. We still have the useless cinch cannons in there, which they wouldn't be useless if they had a free firing pattern. If you could either just hit the button and fire when you want to, or if you could at least charge the weapon up and hold it charged until the moment when you want to fire to let go and fire. Then I could live with it. But the fact that you have to plan that you will be perfectly on the enemy in 2 seconds, no, thanks. But this is the new yaw here, 60, I think, what was it, 61 degrees per second or so? Insane. I mean, the Banu Defender is classified as a light fighter, but that is some freaking mobility right there, considering it's a size 2 shield that it got too. If only they would fix these arms in the front left and front right here to have more than 0.1%, 0.1 HP. Because as soon as you take a few shots there, pop, they break off, you spiral out of control, and the ship is useless. Which means, sorry to say it, but this means the ship is useless. At least for anything related to combat. It's great for doing package deliveries, and also maybe just from flying from one A to B or to pick up a friend because you have, you know, interior. But unfortunately, anything combat doesn't really work, sadly. All right, anyways, let's spawn the blade. That's the part that we're probably most interested in. Yeah, yeah, so I'm skipping ahead to the moment where we're walking towards it. There it is. Beautiful ship, by the way. I love that thing. And so far, the fact that the weapons were bespoke kind of made the blade a little less attractive to me, if I'm being honest. Not that I don't like something that's called plasma cannons. That is definitely something I'm all the way up there to use. Problem is that these two plasma weapons had way different speeds. I think the Warlord goes with 1,600 meters per second, whereas the Whip only had like 1,000 or so. So you had two completely different pips. And it was difficult to use them both very well. You could, of course, assign them to different slots and alternate them, but, you know, it's not ideal. In any case, be sure to know that aside from having more armor on the nose and body, which, again, I've told you about yesterday, huge amount of changes with ships changing their amounts of armor. You should probably check out the video if you haven't seen it yet yesterday. But yeah, so we got more mobility, more armor on the blade. About, what was it, 15, 20%, 25? I'm not sure exactly. I would also need to watch the video. Yeah, and then we have the new modifier for ammo load, which means we have, with these size 2 and size 3 outdoor repeaters, like 160 shots now. And you see also the blade is super nice and mobile, right? Super nice and agile ship. Very small too, so not so easy to hit. I think this could actually become a really nice dogfighter. And now with a free weapon choice, being able to put some NDBs on there, right? Or being able to put the Badger and Panthers on, that is typically my PvP choice, because it's the fastest weapons that score the most reliable hits. And yeah, I mean, that is just insane. But it looks odd to have these weapons in there, and I won't say, I'm not saying it's impossible to do this, but yeah, it looks weird and wrong right now. So my feeling is it's probably a bug. Unless they do want to give the blade the chance to become more universal, which I would very much appreciate. Anyways, let's have some battle, okay? We're here in Gilly's Flight School level 1 every time I have to re-level this in the PTU. It's annoying as heck. So we're just taking the first one and destroying those few ships. And of course, also something that happens all the time now. Like, sometimes every 15 minutes is this crash to desktop here. I don't know what's going on, and it has started with one of the recent updates in Star Citizen. Not necessarily the last one, I think it was one before. And ever since then, I'm just running from the crash to desktop to crash to desktop. Sometimes I can't make one mission without 2 crashes. It's unbelievable. So, I know I'm not the only one. I've heard about this. So I'm really hoping they're gonna fix it. I heard some people say it's some audio file, and when it's played you have this crash. But then again, some people have it more often, some people don't have it. Yeah, I don't know. It's odd. But in any case, you see the blade in action having a battle with weapons that it would normally had never been able to use before. Super fun for me to watch, very refreshing. I like the idea of having a choice of weapons free on the blade. Yeah, let's see how it goes in the future. If this is a bug, or if it if they're actually working on this to try and give the blade these choice of weapons. Here we're firing at a size, I think it's an attrition turret, probably size 5 attritions. Pretty hefty, but we can do it. Can dodge a few shots, and also you see the blade does not get one-shotted, right? It's rather tanky now. In any case, see you in probably tomorrow's video when we're flying an F-8C Lightning, my friends, with the blade weapons. If that works, we'll see. Okay, until then, Manni off, bye.